Okay, I think we are live. I think we are live. By we, of course, I mean me. Yeah. Looks like I'm watching myself. Like a dork. Oh god. Alright, I'm gonna transition to the intro music and we'll get some people in here. Bada boom bing, here we go.
3年 B 組の皆さん、こんにちは。
Hi, konnichiwa! Hi, konnichiwa! I love it. Freaking love that guy. He's awesome. Alright, so that's the intro. Pravada was asking what that was, and I decided to teach myself video editing because I had time at one point in my life, and I was like, I'm going to teach myself how to edit video. And then next thing I knew, I found a bar. There's like a local bar around here that has a large screen that plays stuff on the wall. And I asked the management if I could use their system to just do stuff. And they were like, sure, do it. So I ended up creating a couple of DJ sets of just like electro and synth and things that I kind of like a little bit. And yeah, I just started making DJ sets, and I would like re-edit movies to conform to DJ sets that conformed to the narrative of the picture. It was kind of fun. It was sort of a neat thing. It's kind of lame in a way because it's like you're not going to get paid for it or anything, but you know, it's fun to look at. It's fun to watch. So that's what that's all about. All right, so there is a thing. All right, so what am I going to talk about tonight? Tonight I want to talk about firstly the Red Pill Project, which is very slowly moving along, but it is moving along. So that'll be number one. Point number two is going to be the possible futures. That is to say, an examination of possible futures and planning for those possible futures, because that is still on my mind. Maybe I should invert those. Maybe I should go ahead and do the possible futures before the red pill thing. And then finally, actually I don't really have a finally, so I guess it's just going to be the two. Okay, cool. There we are. Done. Nice and easy. Oh, I don't want to go into chat. I don't want to go into chat. All right, so I'm going to go back to the possible futures and planning for the possible futures. A really big issue that I just, it won't get out of my head right now is the planning for possible futures. Right now, I really feel as though, I mean, I don't like using the word feel because it's too soft of a word. But the impression that I get really is that we are involved in a transition in civilization. And as we're in the middle of a transition in civilization, there are a lot of things that are outside of our power. There are a lot of things that are outside of our control. And I think, personally, there's a lot to be said for, action and reaction. I think there's a lot to be said for there are larger forces at work, and they're going to affect groupings of people on a net level. And as these groupings of people interact with each other on a net level, there's very little that you can do to control anything larger than very specific inputs. So I'm starting to think that perhaps there is some wisdom to, I guess, forming some kind of a local group that you know that you can depend on. So this would especially involve things like family and your local community. My apologies. When I went and got hot chocolate, I had a chocolate chip and mint cookie, and for some reason I got a little tiny fleck on the back of my throat. It's terrible. It was a great cookie, but it's just, anyway, I'm going to be clearing my throat. I'm trying to avoid eating mucus-forming foods before I do live streams so that I do less throat clearing. Obviously, today that didn't quite work out because mint cookie. Anyway, I think that going with smaller groupings of people would be a fantastic idea. I'm not sure how... It's so tricky because it only works on a local level. There's a concept that Brundlefly was talking about, which was the notion of basically a white mafia. So you would have an extra governmental collection of people that would work in the interest of whites. And I thought that was a very interesting idea, because one of the issues that you have whenever you consider the idea of things like forming a voluntary ethno-state is that the federal government very specifically says we are going to funnel in Section 8. Excuse me. I used the word insomniac on purpose because I am an insomniac. It's terrible. It's catching up with me. When you have the federal government funneling in people into your community, there's basically nothing that you can do. You are at the mercy. We are all at the mercy of what the federal government is doing, and the only small groupings of people that are actively rebelling against the U.S. federal government that I can see locally within my area are very specific cities in California. So, for example, Los Alamitos, which I think is I think it's Orange County, but it might be the first, or the last city of LA County before going into Orange County. I don't remember, but it's a border city. And Orange County used to be very, very conservative because of the importation of the Mexican population. Orange County has changed demographically, and it has also changed in terms of how it votes. So now it's completely blue. But it seems as though there are just enough people in LaSalle that what they're doing is they're voting against the sanctuary city status. This is fantastic. This is amazing. So there are tiny inroads in collective thinking here and there where you are seeing people band together to vote specifically for their best interests. I don't want to say we're turning a corner because I don't like getting disappointed. I don't like it when I think something is going to happen. I prepare myself for that thing to happen that I want to happen, and then it doesn't happen. So I want to be very, very careful about how I think about this. So again, I say it seems like a really great step in the correct direction, and I'm really hoping that it'll continue in this direction. However, LaSalle still has a huge demographic problem, number one. Number two, there's no way they're going to achieve anything like the ethno-nationalist concept down there. That's just flatly impossible. I know this for a lot of reasons. Anyone that is not from Orange County or Los Angeles, California, I'll give you the briefest possible rundown of it. Southern California is basically turning into a giant Baja California. That's really what it's coming down to. And there used to be in that area, specifically in Los Alamitos, that area used to be thick with Chinese people. And for some reason, the demographic shift has changed so that now there's like a little tiny Vietnamese section down there. The Indians got in there huge in the mid-90s, which I thought was very peculiar. So there's a section of Los Alamitos where my favorite, it's almost embarrassing, but not quite, but it is a little bit. My favorite Chinese restaurant was this place called Kim Tar. And Kim Tar, they were so freaking weird. It was family owned, and the family was completely from China, and they did not speak a lick of English. You had to point at things on the menu because thankfully they put things in both English and Chinese. So I had to really figure out how to communicate with these guys to get the food, but their food was so good. It was the weirdest thing. They had a D in their window, and yet I couldn't, I never got sick from it, but it was just one of those things where it was the weirdest thing in the world. This crazy freaking restaurant had some of the most amazing food. They didn't give a crap about the health codes as long as they were able to stay open for business. It's the weirdest thing in the world. I hope they're still in business. I kind of want to go back there. Anyway, yeah, that's the flavor of Los Angeles, or of Los Alamitos that I grew up with, and those people are still there. They're still doing their thing wherever the hell they are, and it's just gotten more mottled. It's just gotten more quote unquote diverse, as where it began LaSalle with just a tiny Chinese grouping of people. Yeah, it expanded to Vietnamese, to the Indians. So you've got the whites, you've got the Vietnamese, you've got the Indians, you've got the Chinese, and then of course all around them you've got just a mass importation of Mexicans. So it's one of the most confused demographics that you can possibly imagine. I mean, I know that there are places that are worse. My point here is that everything that they're doing right now to simply abate the illegal immigration coming out of Mexico, that's a great start, but it's not going to go far enough, in my opinion. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. It's just a stepping stone. It's just a starting point. Anyway, what I was going for. Oh, son of a gun! I had I had a thought chain in my head. Oh gosh, where did it go? No, this is the problem with insomnia. This is awful. Okay, yeah, that's right. The breaking up of. So what happened with LaSalle basically is the 1965 Immigration Act basically created a situation where there was a lot of wealth in LaSalle, and a bunch of immigrants wandered in. Nothing against them. I used to be friends with some of those guys, and they're actually really cool. Yeah, anyway. And if you wanted to go ahead and throw together, within LaSalle, if you wanted to have a specific neighborhood that was just for the white people, I have no doubt in my mind that the U.S. federal government would say, no, we're going to break that down. We're going to break this up. We're going to make sure that this is not going to happen. I mean, if you consider, what was it, Tim Wise. Tim Wise is this horrible lefty douche, I think he lives in San Marin County, and San Marin County or is it Marin? I think it's Marin County. I don't think there's a San in there. Anyway, Marin County is north of where I am, and Marin County happens to be very, very wealthy, and of course, very, very white. And they wanted to, the federal government, they wanted to go ahead and throw in some low-income housing so that they could go ahead and diversify Marin County. Tim Wise's community voted against it. They didn't want it. The only reason that they were able to get away with it was for the single reason that these people, they're all incredibly wealthy and they have some sway in the political sphere. And that's it. So it's 100% diversity for thee, but not for me. What I'm saying here is that the U.S. federal government, they will hound you, they will chase you down, and they'll even go for the rich people. And it's the only reason that the rich people can get away with not being quote-unquote diversified is because they have power. We on the lower end do not have power. We will not have power. And this is why I think the concept of something like, I don't want to say mafia, so instead I'll say illegal lemonade stand. This is why I think the idea of illegal lemonade stands is probably a good call, because an illegal lemonade stand is going to be operating outside of the rule of U.S. federal government. There's got to be something there. I just don't know what it is. I don't like the concept of basically, yeah, creating an illegal lemonade stand just seems like that could go south really, really fast for a lot of reasons. And I wouldn't want people to get tied up in court cases. I wouldn't want people to get tied up in things that are unnecessary and life wasting and wealth squandering. That would be fantastically bad. At the same time, I genuinely feel as though there's sort of, after a certain point, there's a brick wall that will be hit. And I think that brick wall really is the legal system. I really think that this is going to be the final frontier. I think this is going to be where the rubber hits the road. This is where we're going to see the real conflicts and the real battles. Consider, for example, Richard Spencer. I think Richard Spencer is kind of bland and uninteresting. You know, whatever. I can think that all I want. But at the same time, he was attempting to do something. And in as much as he was attempting to do something, I do applaud that, even though he's not my speed and I'm not terribly interested in what he's doing. You know, whatever. He's out there, he's doing something. That's fine, and I do support that in general. And of course, what happened? He's now tied up in a legal battle that is going to take his time, attention, energy, and money. So he can no longer do things. Even though I think that he was largely ineffective on a net level, he mostly ended up preaching to the choir. At the same time, there is a rallying spirit that he had that I do think is kind of a good thing. Even if you dislike the guy, it's good to have someone that you can point to and look at and watch and say, I like that guy. That guy rocks, and I'm willing to listen to that guy in as much as he has things that are worth hearing. And Richard Spencer, he wasn't that guy for me, but he was that guy for other people, and he's been taken down, and he's been taken down by the legal system. Who's another person? No. I'm now thinking of funding. Faith Goldie got taken down from Patreon. That's right. That's right. Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is, yes, he's a Zionist. Yes, he is a Civ Nash cuck. I completely agree with that. So am I. So who am I to point fingers? I talk about the ethno state. But when you look at my life, oh God. Anyway, I don't want to focus on how lame I am. Moving on. Tommy Robinson, he does have his problems. He does have his flaws. However, the guy has at least the one point that he's willing to stand up against Islam. That's a great start. And what did they do? They spent the UK government. They spent years hounding that guy. They put him in a jail knowing that he would be attacked violently by Muslims, and he almost got burned by acid. He had his teeth knocked out and everything. They wanted to kill him, I'm sure of it. And the UK government is doing this again right now. I honestly think that he's got a price on his head on some level. Maybe not a literal price on his head, not like anyone's put a bounty on the guy. But they really want him gone. They want him silenced. And they're using the legal system to do it. I think there's going to be some kind of a hard wall. I really don't know what else to call it. I think there's going to be a hard wall where we're going to have to say to ourselves, we need to be willing to go to jail. We need to be willing to go to court. We need to be willing to represent ourselves. We need to be willing to basically become paralegals. We're not at that point now. We're nowhere near that point right now. This could be years, maybe a decade out. I really don't know. The only thing that I'm saying is that if we're going to be talking about these things, if we're going to be doing everything we can to exercise our free speech, freedom of association, and so on, I think we're going to have to prepare to consider things like a legal response. They will respond, and they will do so in the harshest possible manner. We will be hit with petty lawsuits. We will be hit with lawfare. And if we're going to be engaging in freedom of association, I think we're going to have to prepare ourselves to defend based on the First Amendment. And there's going to be a real question as to whether or not freedom of association can be broken up by the federal government on the grounds that a given association is not #diverse. So I think that's like a possible future that one would want to consider. And because I have the tiniest bit of a legal background, not that I'm in any way a paralegal, much less a lawyer, but I did study the legal system just enough so that I could combat a parking ticket. And, I won, which is cool, but that's just it's a stupid pony trick. If I were to go up against a real lawyer team, my stupid little pony trick is basically meaningless. I may know more or less the rules. I may know more or less how they play their game psychologically, but these guys, they've got big guns that I cannot compete with. These people have connections in the Lawyers Guild. These people have connections with judges that I simply don't have. Consider, who's that guy? The leader of the Charlottesville March. He's having to represent himself. He has to go to the frickin' library to look up these things on his own. No one's helping him. And in fact, as some people here may have seen, he was hounded in the library by a bunch of creepy SJWs that decided to stalk him. So it's Kessler. Yes, that's the guy, Kessler. So we could very well end up in a situation where we're forced to defend ourselves, and we're going to have, it's not that we're going to have one hand tied behind our back, it's that we're going to be going basically unarmed. Again, it's going to be completely David versus Goliath. So I'm a little bit, it's a concept that I hadn't, because everyone focuses on the really sexy, fun, cool, flashy things. Everyone focuses on, the concept of, what is it, Rahowa? So, it's cool. It makes for great cinema. God knows I love it. I think it's great to think about because it's really flashy. It's really cool. You can imagine entire scenarios and whatnot. It's great. It would make a great novel or a novel series. Maybe even a TV series. Who knows? At the same time, I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime, if it happens at all. And I think that the more effective tactical position would not be to move to outright physical violence, but instead to use something like a war of attrition. And again, the weapon is going to be the legal system. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it on that particular topic because it's a little bit blackpilling. It's just a touch blackpilling. It's not pleasant to think about, for a few reasons. Next topic was the Red Pill program. Now, I still hold that one of the biggest issues that is holding back the right in general is the lack of coherent identity and the lack of any kind of a central guiding force or principle. There are a crapload of demoralized whites that basically hate themselves, and I think that we're going to have to figure out a way to get through to them that, it's okay to be yourself, it's okay to not hate yourself, and so on. And I do have an obsession with media. I really do. And the reason that I have an obsession with media is because it genuinely is my opinion that this will be the most effective way at present to disseminate positive ideas, to reinforce positive values. So I'm really looking forward to, again, simply understanding the red pill concept so that I can kind of replicate it-ish in media. And this is the general trajectory of my thinking at the moment. Tomorrow I'm going to have Sin 526 on, and we're going to discuss Sin's red pill experience. For the sake of it, I think this is worth mentioning. I was thinking about the notion, or rather, I was thinking about the concept of red pill and red pilling and what it means. A lot of people, they have different ideas of what their red pill experience was. Someone might say, oh, I'm red pilled on Juliet, Quebec, or I'm red pilled on 9/11, or I'm red pilled on race realism, or I'm red pilled on something. I'm now of the opinion that I saw this in a chat. I wish I could remember who it was, but someone said that, rather, they equated the red pill experience to revelation. I think this is the correct the correct word, or the correct concept to apply, because that really is what I do feel like I've gotten. Nice, you're fully red pilled. I like it. Sin, I like it. I'm very happy about that. I really do feel as though the red pill experience for myself was a long-term project. It messed me up psychologically for a couple of years at one point, and it really did resemble a revelation process. I had ever more intense and worldview crushing revelations, and each time I had to reform my thoughts on the world, all the way to the point where, when I guess when I was red pilled on race realism, strangely, all of those psychological barriers, I found them much easier to overcome, because the first few that I had were so intense and borderline destructive. They were terrible to experience. But once I was through them, once I got past the worst of it, I was able to... it's not that I had a... There's an issue with the idea of being able to change your mind. Some people see it as a good thing, some people see it as a bad thing. I see it as a good thing. That said, I don't think that you should be turning on a dime every couple weeks because somebody said something impressive, and you're continually finding new paths and new directions. If you keep doing that, your life will be aimless. So I think there's a balance between changing your mind and staying true to your principles. So when I say, I was about to say that the red pill experience, it made my mind a little bit more malleable, provisionally. I want to say that provisionally. The malleability, I'm only referring to the idea that when I am now confronted with new information, I find it much easier to say, okay, I was wrong, I overextended myself, I have to walk back, I'm going to walk back, and I'm going to find solid ground again, and I will reform my opinions based on this new information. Incorporating good information is highly important. It's very important. Anyway, coming back to the revelation concept, yes, it can be incredibly painful. It was painful for me. And I think that using the word revelation, I think that implies, for me anyway, much more the painful aspect of the red pill experience. What is it? I think the word apocalypse means to lift the veil. Interestingly, that if you think about it from a certain standpoint, it is a Luciferian reference. As where I was blind, now I see. Sight. You go from blind to seeing. You go from dark to light, and frequently light is represented as fire, which can burn you. It's in this sense that apocalypse or revelation can be harmful or damaging. So, I like the word revelation. And in a way, what we're doing, or rather, in a way, what the red pilling concept, you're always going to be, I don't want to say harming people, because that sounds too ungood. It sounds like you're intentionally, being vicious to someone. But you are basically putting a person in a situation in which they're going to suffer. They're going to have a bad time. They're going to learn something that is going to harm their worldview. They're going to freak out. They're going to have an anxiety attack, and they're going to suffer exactly in the same way that I suffered, as a lot of people do. Of course, again, I grew up in Los Angeles, super paused, Civ Nash, the whole nine, all of it. So when my flip was a little extra difficult. So I think it's worth mentioning that my context is very specific. It's probably a little easier in certain parts of the country. This is one part of the country where it's simply not easy at all. But I digress. I think the red pill experience, it needs to be understood as clearly as possible. And once I have Sin on, I can go ahead and resume discussions on the red pill experience, and then we can start talking about not only how some people, got red pilled, but also how it affected their lives. I can say in all honesty that the red pill experience, just in terms of day-to-day life, it had a very negative impact on my life. And the reason is, multiple reasons actually, amongst which are that I can't talk to people normally anymore. I cannot be honest with people at all. I always have to hide my true thoughts, which is unpleasant, and I don't like it, but that's just the way that it is. Because if I said things openly, I know that I would be attacked, verbally, and in certain circumstances, probably physically, which is super duper unpleasant, but it is the case. So I think one moment. Oh gosh, here comes the insomnia. My apologies. So yeah, it affected my life negatively in that aspect. And also, there are certain friends that they're just more scarce now, and it's harder for me to talk to them. And I find that to be, again, very unfortunate, because I don't like that, even though, because some of my pals, they are Mexican dudes, or they're Asian dudes, and yeah, I do have hashtag, that black friend or something, and it's like, but they are good people, and I don't like that within the context of, I know, it's true, yawning is completely, I know, I still hold that 9/11, the entire reason that World Trade Center 7 collapsed is because of the yawn effect. WTC 1 and 2 collapsed, and just like the yawn effect, number 7 went down. It just couldn't help. Yeah, I know, I'm a cuck. I know, it's awful. I know. But at the same time, within my general life experience, it's like, I don't like that it's put problems within my relationships. There's some people where they just look at me cross because I voted for Trump, even though I voted for Trump as a meme at the time. They didn't care. The only thing that they wanted, or they simply view me as being evil because I don't think like them. Now, of course, this is Los Angeles, so as always, it's very important to remember that my context is very specific. It's a very unpleasant context. The red pill experience has had a very negative impact on my life, and trying to find ways out of it is not easy. I have found that largely I just bite my tongue on basically everything. Within certain groups, I'm able to talk, thank God, with certain people, tentatively and tepidly, but I am able to talk with certain people about these things, and I'm able to be more open. Thank God I have somebody around me that's sane. But yeah, I mean, it's just a really, really weird situation. So Anyway, yes, when I resume the discussion on the red pill experience, again I say looking very forward to examining how one gets to the revelation, how one goes through the revelation, and then finally the effects of the revelation on their psyche. Eke just learn to shut up, be a spy. Oh no. I'll start just like creeping around with like a notepad and paper and sunglasses and just start writing things down, being behind bushes and chairs and tables or whatever. That'd be so weird. That'd be super weird. So yeah, that's the next plan. I think I finally boomered myself into figuring out how to do the hangout reliably. So I now know what I'm doing, so I can go ahead and just start doing it. So I'm pretty stoked about that, and that's where that is for the moment. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and hit up the stream because like a bunch came up, a bunch. Oh my gosh, so many, and you know. Thank you everyone for popping by. Seriously, I really enjoy these streams in general, and I'm really happy that you guys pop by. It's made my evenings pleasant. Again, I say, here in Los Angeles, I don't really have a whole hell of a lot. So it's nice to, even though half of you are on, rather, not only are in other cities and states, but, you know, other parts of the continent entirely, it's nice to have at least a few, a little familiarity with regards to people that have like minds. So thank you everyone for popping by. Okay. Let's see. A mix so addicted to the endorphin dump at the end. Yeah, dude. Lyov Mishkin. Yeah, man. That's actually my favorite part of cycling is that second rush. Oh, man. I used to feel like a freaking Greek god. It's fantastic. Anyone that is not into cycling, it's kind of hard to explain because what you get is corporeal speed. You get unnatural corporeal speed. Corporeal just meaning body, corpus, that's all. You are going fast using your own body, and as fast as you feel when you're running, going on a bike can actually at times be scary fast, like literally scary fast. When you really get going, because you can approach highway speeds on flats if you know what you're doing. You have to draft, you know, but whatever. You know, I'm not fast enough to go beyond like 25-30 miles an hour. I'm kind of weak, but at the same time, you're still going like stupid fast. You're still going at car speeds, and you're doing so using your own body, and you do get an actual formal endorphin dump. It's incredible. You really do feel like $1,000,000. It's fantastic. Hard to describe, and you know, there's some people that are just not into cycling, and I kind of get it because it's kind of a weird thing, but it's fun. It's fun for those who are into it. It actually is pretty fun. And of course, here in Los Angeles, oh my God, all the cyclists are so freaking paused. It's terrible. I don't want to go into it, but I wish that there were more. I wish there were more right-leaning people. I would find a right-leaning bicycle crew and just hang out with those guys. Alas, I don't think it's going to happen, but whatever. Anyway, let's see here. Thanks. It feels like just yesterday I was 56. That's right, man. Yeah, I'm going to be turning 40 in just a little bit, so I'm going to feel like I was, or I'm going to feel like, I don't know what I feel like anymore. It's kind of weird. Like, yeah, it's so strange. After you get past a certain age, for me anyway, I have to remind myself how old I am. It's kind of weird, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, that guy is Eke the loan shark. Oh no, I'm a loan shark now. Oh, I hope I'm getting some good usury out of it. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's see here. Had two drunk girls kick in my door tonight and dragging me out to a party. Had to do shots with them before they left. I feel way too old for that. Yeah, it's true. There's this weird thing that happened to me a little while ago, sometime in my mid-30s, where just out of nowhere, I started not caring about parties. It was so weird, because I used to party a lot when I was in my mid to late 20s, and then I think it was age like 33, like 32 or 33, just basically a hard stop. I don't think I've been to a real party outside of like just like a passing cursory party. Just someone invites me and I go because I was invited. I don't think I've engaged in the party scene in like well over 7 years now. It's really weird. Anyway, let's see here. Let's hit back down. I'm probably gonna go for ats because there's so much going on in the chat right now. Let's see. I'm a baby making machine, so it's best I didn't go out. Oh no, you degenerate. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Yeah, some parts of Orange County are still conservative. Yeah, some parts of OC are still conservative, but you have to go in very specific areas. Leo Mishkin, Orange County is the first county south of LA County, and that used to be like the place where Republicans would go. And if you can imagine, basically it's like Los Angeles but clean and with far fewer drug addicts. Rather, that's what it used to be like. Now, on the other hand, it's just like LA. It's kind of lame. It sucks. You have to go to very specific places, like certain sections of Seal Beach or Huntington Beach. Back in the late 2000s, they weren't too bad. I don't know what they're like now, though. That was like a decade ago. But yeah, basically Orange County is just LA South. Excuse me. It's LA South, but used to be LA South conservative. Now it's just turning into Aslan. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, like suburbs, beach communities. Yeah, exactly. Aegeus has it correct. That's basically it. Let's see here. Oh no, is my mic okay? Okay? My mic is okay. Okay, good. Whew, don't freak me out, man. Don't freak me out. Okay. Let's see here. What are your thoughts on Rodney Eke? My thoughts on Rodney are still. He still seems kind of weird. I still don't trust him. I still can't find it in myself to trust the guy. And there's a part of me that kind of thinks that there is some merit to checking people, but at the same time, it seems destructive. It seems ungood. I don't care for it in the least. The way that he seems to be coming off. Like I was in a stream with him earlier, and I played Genial with the guy, and I kind of felt duplicitous when I was doing it, and I don't like that because I don't want to be duplicitous. But in my mind, I was being duplicitous, so whatever. And I can't explain it. He says the right things, and he does come off genial. He does smile, and there's a part of him that does seem reasonable. So it's just, I don't know what to make of the guy. That's really all it comes down to. It's very peculiar. Question mark. That's basically it. Just a question mark. Okay, it's going to head further down into the chat. Where are we? Okay, here we are. I went to Sacramento in 2016, and there were some conservative assemblymen and state senators who either voted against the pause or abstained from voting on that. Oh, really? What are we talking about? Oh, no. Okay, I'm not sure what we're talking about. Oh, no, I remember. That's right. Yeah, it depends on where you go, really. And at the moment, my view is that the rot has set it in. Yeah, the rot has set it in such a way. Setted? No, that's not a word. Set. The rot has set in such a way that I really do fear for the future of this state, which bothers me because I flipping love California, and I don't want to move because I love this place. Even though, some of the people are complete dorks and I don't like some of the aspects of it, a large portion of it really is great, and I do lament the passing of what I grew up in. Okay, I just read a Dostoevsky short tonight, The Crocodile, surprisingly funny. Every time I see you, I think of him. Yeah, man, Dostoevsky's the shit, bro. I love that guy. He's cool. Some people give him crap, but I think he's great. Okay, I'm going to go down to the ats again. Let's see here. Going down to, oh yeah, Tim Wise. Yeah, Tim Wise is crazy, dude. I don't like Tim Wise. Back when I was paused and I first heard about Tim Wise, when I first saw him speak, I thought he was kind of a douche. And, like, he was saying the things that clicked in my paused mind. Like, oh, okay, he's saying things that refer to my belief set. Even then, he just came off as, like, slimy and creepy and weird. I didn't like him even then, and of course, obviously, I like him far less now. I don't like it when, yeah, I don't want to go too far into that. Yeah, freaking Tim Wise, hypocrite. I don't like him. All right, see here. Elaine speaking to Leo of Michigan. That's true here. The lefties who live in my gated community in the Redwoods are super paused, but they don't practice what they preach. 100%, man. 100%. Frame Game was correct in calling them all diversity tourists, because that's precisely what they are. Diversity for thee, but not for me. They go back to their gated communities, is what they do. Let's see here. I should get my 23andMe soon. God, I hope I'm not surprised. You may well be, bro. Be careful. You never know. All right, see here. Spencer is a slot machine. A slot machine? What do you mean by slot machine? Oh, you never know what you're going to get. Oh, okay, yeah, I kind of get that. At least I think that's what you're saying. If that's what you're saying, I agree with that. Because yeah. Spencer has been sort of a weird mixed bag, where every time I've heard the guy, I'm like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, because it's kind of like whatever. And he just goes off on, well, whatever. Anyway, yeah. For me, he's been a mixed bag, but maybe it's just that I don't have a beat on the guy. That's also possible. So maybe I don't know what you're saying. That's actually another possibility. Okay. Let's see here. Hey, what happened to Sargon? I don't know. What happened to Sargon? Oh no, now I actually do kind of want to know. Not because I care about the guy, but just because generally it sounds interesting. Let's see here. Insomniacs get the Adderall. Oh no, not the Adderall. Bro, when I was a little kid, I was actually put on Ritalin, and I had to stop because at one point, this was in high school, at one point I went to unlock my locker and my hand was shaking, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I got off the Ritalin, never looked back. Still have the attention span of a goldfish, but whatever. I'd rather not be crazy from whatever long-term effects happen from Ritalin. I'd rather be naturally crazy than unnaturally crazy, if that makes any sense. Let's see here. I want Sargon gone. He's proven multiple times that all his good principles were only temporary. I kind of agree. I mean, yeah, he talks about principles, but yeah, you're right. He abandons them pretty quick. You know, the whole free speech, well, whatever. Anyway, I don't want to go into that. Yeah, I'm not terribly impressed. When there was that whole crowd versus tea debacle, he seemed to kind of go hands off and just say, well, I'm out and I'm done, and that was it. Something about the way that it came off, I just didn't care for it too much. Anyway, why would you accept their frame? Why play lawfare? Okay, yeah, I'm not, when I talk about lawfare, all I'm saying is that they will attack us. And it's very worth mentioning that if you, okay, let's say, for example, they sue you. If you don't go to court, then the lawsuit is going to go through without your being there. You will not be able to defend yourself. The lawsuit will go through. There will be a judgment against you, and you will be held liable for whatever happens in that courtroom, even if you're not present. And if you refuse to abide by whatever judgment is issued against you, you will be arrested. If you refuse to go to jail, if you refuse the arrest, they will try to kill you. So it's incredibly important to understand there is going to be an escalation of violence, and the escalation of violence begins with the legal system. And as long as people believe in the legal system, you are subject to playing defense against people that are perfectly willing to sentence you to jail or if you resist, death. So it's not a matter of accepting their frame. It's a matter of understanding that these people are out for blood, and I'm interested in keeping them at bay as much as is possible. Okay, going back to the ats. Let's see here. If any of my fellow goys want to do constructive things, just begin networking with those of like mind. We eventually need parallel businesses, communities, etc. 100%. Big high five. Aegeus, I think I'm pronouncing your handle correctly. Big high five. Yes, absolutely. I agree. 100%. Okay, really, Kessler seemed pretty cool when Luke interviewed him. Yeah, Kessler's not bad. I mean, I have my reservations with the guy, but he's not bad. He's actually not bad. He's okay. I think he's kind of silly, but yeah, whatever. I don't want to go too far into that. I keep saying that all the time. I give like a passing thought, and like, I don't want to go too far into it. Yeah, I'm still pretty sleep deprived, so it's kind of hard for me right now. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Oh my gosh, I might end up going down to live chat just because. Let's see here. Pravada was on this FB post today, and it was a massive black pill. These cucks think maintaining a white majority is extreme. This one comic understands. He got death threats. Yeah, man, they're crazy. They're all crazy. Yeah, they're nuts. They're nuts. It's true. They're just freaking nuts. Oh yeah, now we're going to the part where I'm paused. The part of the chat where everyone notices that I'm paused. Oh, it sucks. Alright, here we go. Going further down. Oh no, what's going on here? Okay, good. Now I'm fine. Oh gosh. So many comments. So many comments. Oh, okay. More one-line reviews of Russian lit, please. Oh yeah. I gotta read more Russian lit, bro. That's what I gotta do. I actually have to do that. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I was gonna go ahead and read Culture of Critique. Okay, I'm gonna find a copy of that. So there's gonna be no Russian reading for me. Yeah. I'm gonna read Culture of Critique. That's gonna be my game plan. It's a book that's to be read. I think I can find a free copy of it, so I'm gonna read that. Oh my god, I gotta get my crap in gear, man. This sucks. Okay. Would you start a right-wing bike group with your own little fash flags on your bike? If not, you are afraid. You need to realize that their methods are working. Yeah, I know. If I was gonna do it, I think I'd probably go with the what is it, the British lightning bolt symbol in the circle. I really like that one. I think that one's really cool. It'd be cool if they had one that was just for Scotland. That would be my ideal. I think it'd be super rad, but Britain in general would be completely acceptable. Okay, I'm gonna go for a couple more upper in the chat, and I'm gonna go back down to live. A black kid won most popular in my 99% white HS high school. When my mom was crying after a black family was interested in buying our house, I said, "Mom, don't be racist." What about Skipper? Yeah, man, that's the way that it goes. That's the way that it goes. Yeah, super paused. I know how it is. Yeah, I live in LA. It's like that everywhere. Eke, can we do a private test stream sometime tomorrow so I can pop my Hangouts and make sure to be ready for the actual stream? Of course, absolutely. I have an appointment sometime in the late morning into the mid to late afternoon. So I think sometime in the, Pacific Standard Time, I think I should be great for a test sometime in the 6 to 7 o'clock area, I think. I'm going to go ahead and DM you on Twitter and just generally be around at that time. Oh gosh, what was your Twitter again? I have to find your Twitter. Oh my god. What was your Twitter? It was super obvious too. Why can't I find it or think of it? Why am I retarded? Oh no, I feel retarded again. This sucks. That's right. I found, okay, send link to your Twitter again because I'm retarded and for some reason I can't find it, and I'm not going to worry about it because you can just type it and then I don't have to search for it like a retard while I'm in the middle of a live stream. Okay, moving on.
And yes, an Ethnash cyclist group would be freaking tight. I would love it. I would get a jersey with a giant lightning bolt. It'd be amazing. It'd be great. Okay, here, definitely a process. Overton window is way to the left, so thinking whites aren't inherently evil is akin to Nazism. Completely agree. Totally agree. Yeah. Eke must do a party stream. I would love to do a party stream, even though I don't do parties anymore. It'd be great to do like a party stream, but I don't know what the hell it'd be like. It'd be kind of weird. Let's see here. Eke needs a co-host. You know what? I actually agree. Funny enough, I was thinking about that earlier today. I'm not ready for it, but yeah. Sin, you're first in line. Let's see here. Eke, would you start a right-wing bike group with your own little flag? Oh, that's right. I read that one. Let's see here. Don't be too paranoid. I hate people who are always going around accusing this person or another of being, or plants. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is one of my reasons why I'm trying to not think ill of people in general, because it's my real opinion, precisely as Leo of Michigan was mentioning, that it's not good to have a paranoid mindset, because then, you distrust everything, you start treating people weird, you get kind of crazy, it's going to mess with your relationships. I don't want to deal with that. So I'm of the opinion at the moment that I want to do everything I can to just kind of like take things as they come and understand that I'm going to get betrayed, I'm going to get backstabbed, and I will simply cut that person off forever. They will just die in my mind, and I will never have to talk to them or think about them ever again. So I like the idea of just accepting that, yeah, I'm going to get messed with, people are going to mess with me, and I just have to cut them out, and there's no way that I can avoid it, because it's going to happen sooner or later. Okay, let's see here. Meth pills of all kinds, Adderall, are kind of nice. Oh, I can't take it, dude. I can't. Too much. A la carte liberalism? Oh, okay. To prove I regard Richard as a goy, I agree. A la carte liberalism, I mean. Okay, I'm not sure what that's all about. Nor is his family having a good time of it. I respect that. Okay, that's another conversation that I don't know about, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's see here. Am I being detained? Yeah, I think this is in reference to all of my stupid lawfare nonsense. Yeah, there's... Once you get into the legal realm, like, really crazy stuff pops up really fast. You wouldn't believe how evil and cynical and manipulative lawyers can be. Like, the bad ones can get really, really bad. I don't remember all the things, but like they would. God, there were a few tricks that. Hold on a second. Let me see if we can remember. Sorry. If I recall correctly, there was one trick that lawyers would employ, where they would essentially they would use. There's something that involved changing their mind, like in the lobby, and basically changing course directions without informing defense, or if they're defense, without informing prosecution. And it had something to do with a peculiar... Oh, God, no, it's been so long. I haven't thought about it in so long. Yeah, the tricks that I remember that they would do were just really, really underhanded, and it came down to things that happen in physical time-space, not related to paperwork, where they can start to create manipulation campaigns, again, just in physical time-space. And if you're not aware of it, if you're not up on top of it, then they'll blindside you. It's horrible. They can be really wicked. Let's see here. I'm glad I was too old for Ritalin by the time they started giving it to kids for ADHD. I would have been a prime candidate. Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. These guys, they'll prescribe anything to people. It's like, if I had a kid, I would keep them homeschooled, just out of fear alone. Oh, no ish. Big Cat Kayla's here. Hey, buddy, how's it going, pal? Yeah, I caught your stream earlier today. Neat. And I also saw you in the Brundlefly one. Word up. Okay, let's see here. Oh, that's right, you're doing the ASMR earlier today. Forgot about that. Let's see here. No Twitter. Gab. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm on Gab. I'm also under Eke Lux on Gab, so you can find me there. I'll go ahead and hit you up, or hit me up, Sin. Hit me up on Gab. Eke Lux. Just look up Eke Lux. I'm on Gab. I think there might be an underscore between Eke and Lux on Gab. I haven't been on that account in so long, like over a week. Okay, I think I'm down to the live chat. I think. Let me check a little higher up. I think I'm all the way down to the live chat. Tight. That's awesome. Word. Okay, so now we're down to the live chat. Where are we now? I'm going to see if I can find anything neat that's going on a little bit above. Let's see here. My struggles with it. Oh, struggles with what? AGS is having struggles with something. What is he having struggles with? Oh my god, that's so far up there. A kind of a bore substance. Oh, I guess it would be substance. Okay. Which one? It's probably further up. Trying to make you feel worse. That's actually pretty wicked. Which one? We're talking about the weed. Oh, okay, yeah. Aegis is talking about weed. Yeah, Aegis, weed can be pretty rough. I've known some people that have been addicted to weed. I knew one guy who was... Oh, no. I'm sorry, buddy. I can't help it. Whenever I see stuff in chat, if it looks kind of interesting, I go for it. I'm sorry, buddy. I just go for it. But no, I don't feel bad. Never feel bad about it. It's fine. You know, we've all made mistakes. We've all done silly things. Half of my life is just sort of kind of this lame blob that kind of manifested, and somehow I came out of it relatively mentally intact. So yeah, if you come out with a pretty okay life, you're doing great. So anyway, but yeah, I knew a couple of people where they got on the weed, and it actually did kind of mess with their lives. I knew one guy where he had to stop because he started getting panic attacks out of nowhere, which I thought was kind of lame. So he ended up with, yeah, like he had a great time, and then boom, he had to stop. So that really messed with his life. Whatever, anyway. And yeah, that guy, yeah, he moved. I miss that guy. He was actually really cool. He was one of my favorite people. Anyway, let's see here. Kayla did great on JF's. Oh, I gotta go on a freaking JF's show and check that out. That's right. Oh my gosh, there's so much to catch up on. Yeah, because Frame Game, he had a stream like last night, and I only caught like 20 minutes of it, if that. And he was like reviewing Yuri Bezmenov. Oh my god, anyone here that has not checked out Yuri Bezmenov needs to check out Yuri Bezmenov and nurture your inner Yuri, because that guy's amazing. I love that guy. Oh, he had this weird quote, something about, not all of us were born with long hair and tall. Some of us were born short and bald and clever. Yeah, I love that guy. The short, bald, clever guy. Freaking love that dude. He ended up moving to like Leafland, and he ended up being a gun owner. So as far as I'm concerned, that guy's a freaking winner, dude. He hates commies and he owns guns. Big freaking win. So yeah, I love that guy. Anyway, I think because I'm a complete insomniac, and I do have things that I have to do tomorrow, I think I'm gonna call it. I think I'm gonna call it a night. I just wanted to go ahead and say that, and this is on a personal level, so please excuse me here. I just want to go ahead and say that I'm super stoked. Some of my personal projects are coming along very nicely, and I'm really happy about that. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to share some of them with you guys in the coming weeks. So yeah, I'm very pleased. Tiny little inroads. Again, I have a hyper obsession with media. So all of my projects involve media. It would be fantastic if I had more to contribute and more to offer, but unfortunately I don't. I kind of have a one-track mind, and this is the one track. This is the one thing that I enjoy doing. For some reason, the only thing that I like is basically media. It's pretty much just video, movies, commercials, television, music videos, things of this nature. I don't know why, but I just love it. So I'm going to focus on those as my own particular contribution. Modest as they are, it's something. I can at least sleep well knowing that I did something. So that's what I'm doing. And again, I say, happy to say I'm making tiny, tiny little steps. And any tiny little step forward is one tiny little step forward. It's a tiny step in the right direction. Or if we wanted to use the builder motif, you can only lay one brick at a time. Today I laid a single brick. Is it the complete structure? Absolutely not. But I got one more brick. One more brick. So we're moving in the right direction. Or at least I feel as though, I hope I'm moving in the right direction. And I encourage everyone to do the same. Find something you love doing and do that. And I think that we'll all be generally better off for the sake of, or rather, we'll be generally better off as we do these things that benefit ourselves and other people. Okay, the insomnia is really starting to wear me down. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. Of course. What am I thinking? Rule number 1. Treat every firearm like it's loaded. Rule number 2, never cover or sweep anything that you're not willing to destroy. Rule number 3, the finger stays off the trigger until the sights are on target. And the 4th and final rule is be aware of your target and what's beyond it. Safety first. If you're going to go plinking, safety first. And do remember your eyes and ears. And floss. And there you go. I think that's about it. I think I'm going to go ahead and let out. I'm super stoked that everyone showed up. Like, really, I'm not even kidding. Like, seriously, I really enjoy these streams tremendously. And I'm very happy that everyone showed up. So thank you to everyone. And I will see everyone in general in the future. I hope you have a good evening. Cheers.